Okay, hello, you're welcome again to another class. So as I said before, I'm going to be teaching you two types of closures. So we've done the 4x4 closure in our previous video. So in today's video we are going to be treating the 13 by 4 frontal. The 13, that is the ear to ear frontal. So that is the 13 by 4 frontal. But another thing you should know, this is just a measure of popular 13 by 4 closure, frontal I mean. But before you go ahead and make a closure for any clients that you have, if you are not going to be doing a custom like selling it different, if you have a particular customer that you want to make a closure for, please try and measure the person ear to ear first before you construct your pattern for the frontal. You have to measure because not everybody have that 13 inches length of ear to ear. Some people like me, I use 14 inches frontal because my ear to ear is 14 inches. So that is why it is very important. If you want to make a frontal for anybody, you have to make sure you measure the person ear to ear first before you go ahead to construct the frontal for ventilation. I hope you get that. Please don't forget to measure. It is very important. But in this video, I'm going to be teaching you the 13 by 4. The most common frontal in market is 13 by 4. So I'm going to be teaching you 13 by 4. So you can use this one to construct any type of frontal, any size of frontal that you want to construct. So let's get right into constructing into construction. As you can see, this is a very long paper. I had to join the paper in center just to improvise because my 4x4 paper, this paper is not up to 13 inches. I think it's about 11 and a half inches. So I have to join in center. So if you don't have a long paper like this, you can go ahead and join. So you just have to improvise. So you will need a ruler, as I said before. So this is a 12 inches ruler, so it doesn't matter. You can just go ahead and improvise as well. So you can use any ruler of your choice, whether it might be longer, it might be shorter. You can still measure it. That's not a problem. So I'm going to be measuring 5 inches, which is because we have to give 1 inch extra. We have to give 1 inch extra for customization, as we know. So, and I'm going to measure from here now 1 inch for customization, that is the extra, and I'm going to measure another 4 inch for all the way from there. From here now I'm going to measure 4 inches. So 1 inch is out. Let me measure the 1 inch out of the way first. Okay, this is 1 inch for construction, for customization I mean, and 4 inch for the length of the frontal. So basically all we have here from here now is 5 inches, but for the frontal is 4 inch. So 1 inch here is for customization, that is the extra that is in front. So from here now we are going to measure the 13 inches. So to get your 13 inches, just first of all measure 6.5 in center. Measure the center so that you will know that yes, it's in center. So 6.5 plus 6.5 is 13. So I'm going to mark here for the center so that we know that we are in the right, Okay, I've already marked the center out. So this center now, that is where I'm going to mark 6.5 inches, because the reason why I place it in center first, because this ruler is not up to 13 inches. So now that I've already gotten where the center is, so from that center now I'm going to mark 6.5 inch. So from this center now I'm going to mark 6.5 inches. From this side, this is 6.5 inches. I'm going to measure 6.5 inches from this side now. That is 6.5. So from this center again, I'm going to mark 6.5 inches from this side too, to make it 13 inches. So this is 6.5, this is 6.5. So we have gotten our 6.5, 6.5 here. Then all we have to do now is to mark, is to rule along. Just rule. So I'm just going to rule along that line. Let me rule it from here. From where you mark the 6.5. So I'm just going to rule along now. Okay, so this is our width. You can see it's 13 inches, 13 inches wide. So I'm just going to mark out the 5 inches from here again. We are going to clean the one we made before. So I'm going to mark the 5 inches from here again. So this is the 5 inches. This is the 5 inches. Let's mark out 1 inch from the 5 inches. That 1 inch is where the hairline stops, and just rule along just the way we constructed the 4x4 closure. So I'm just going to rule along this line now. So rule along this line, and this side as well. I'm going to mark out the 5 inches. I'll mark out the 5 inches from here, and then mark the 1 inches out. Don't forget to mark that 1 inch out. That is where your hairline is going to be. So I'm going to now clean these lines that we created before. So we don't need the lines, so I'm just going to clean them. Okay, so I'm going to just close this line up. So I'm going to close the line up. So close the line up, and so this 1 inch now. So I'm just still going to mark out the lines again, just the way I did for the 4x4 closure. So I'm just going to mark it out like this, then where the hairline is going to stop, where you stop ventilating, because it's going to be a hairline. So that's why I'm just marking it like this. It's like I'm creating the hairline. So before any other thing, you have to label as well. This is hairline. So this part here is hairline, and here, do not ventilate. So this is it. And here as well, just the way we did in the first one, stretch to the side. Just one like this. So stretch, so that you know this. You can see this arrow is telling you that your lace or your Swiss lace should stretch to the side and not this way. So follow this arrow. So okay, before you go ahead and label all these things, like I forgot, I should have done that first before doing the labeling. So before you label it, so you don't make the same mistake I made, so just in the center, this, you see this center here, before you clean that center that you marked initially, that's a 6.5 center that you marked before, just mark it all the way down. Okay, let's, in order for me to be sure that it's actually 6.5, so let's mark out the 6.5 in both sides. Let's mark out the 6.5 here and there, and then rule all the way. So I'm going to rule it now all the way down. So I'm going to use this line now to create that curve. I'm going to use this line to create the curve that we are supposed to have in our closure or frontal. If you see some frontal, you see that curve that they have. So you can, if you have a pattern ruler, I think I have one, but where it is right now is very far, so I'm just going to use my hand to create the curve. So I'm going, in order for you not to make the same mistake that I made, you have to do this curve first before you can start marking the center, as in labeling the center. But this side here is going to be a guideline for you. So I'm just going to curve, give it that curve. You see from this end, this is the beginning of this place here, that's the front. You just take your pencil. If you have a curve ruler that tailors use, I have some, but where they are right now, because I've not been using them for a long time, so where they are right now is very far, I can't look for them. So I'm going to use my hand to curve it out. So if you can use your hand to curve it out, fine. But if you have that tailor ruler, those curve rulers that tailors use for pattern drafting, then you can use it. But I'm just going to curve it out with my hand. So I'm going to curve it out now like this. I hope you can see what I'm doing. So I'm just going to follow this line. I'm going to use this line as a guideline. So I'm just going to continue to curve it all the way to the other side. So this is it. This is how it should be looking like. You can see the way it's curved. You can see how curved it is looking. You can see the way the pattern is looking like right now. This is how it should look like. Okay, let me just bring it closer. Okay, this is how the pattern should be looking like. You can see how curved the pattern is. So I'm just going to clean. I'm going to clean this side now, because we don't need this one. So I'm going to clean all this side. So you are going to clean this side because we don't need them. This is the curve that we need. So this one I did here is a guideline for me to be able to draw it along. So when, after using this this as a guideline to draw, then you can go ahead and clean the straight lines, because we don't need those straight lines. So this is how your frontal should look like. So this is how your frontal should look like. So this is our pattern now. This is our frontal pattern. This is how it should look like. So I'm going to label this one that I cleaned before. I'm just going to label it back again, because it's a guide for us. So stretch. So it should stretch this way. So this is how your closure, your frontal pattern should look like. So you label, this is 13 inches. 13 inches, you can see 13 inches wide, and this is 4 inches. So from here, from this place to this place is 1 inch. You can see it. So from here now is 4 inches, both side 4 inches. So this is your pattern. So what I'm going to do now is to cut. So if you cut out, if you end up cutting out the label, you can just label it inside so that it doesn't, so that you will still know this is 1 inch, this is 1 inch. So you can just label it inside. This is, so you know that this is 13 inches, and here you label it 4 inches at the side here, so that you know that the length is 5 inches and the width is 13 inches. So that's the up cutting the label, the 13 inches label. So I'm just going to label it again 13 inches, so that I will know that yes, this closure, this frontal is a 13 inches frontal. So guys, this is how your frontal should look like. Make sure you pin it exactly the size of the pattern before you go ahead and cut. So just pin everything and you go ahead and cut it out. So you will have your frontal ready for ventilation. So guys, I hope you understand this video. I hope you have learned something from this video. Please don't hesitate to ask me any questions, and I will be right there to answer you guys. And bye. So I'll see you in my next class, which is the proper ventilation, how to ventilate a closure. So guys, I'll see you in our next class. Bye for now.